WBXO Classic Rock Redefined, a special edition on the Pat Show today. Such an honor, again, to have on our rock and roll phone singer-songwriter, all-around musician, probably known to you as the bassist of the Atlanta supergroup Collective Soul. Welcome, Mr. Will Turpin. Will, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. I'm down here in Atlanta. We're getting ready to, we're going to start a little 3-week tour here. We'll be up there, your neck of the woods soon, man.
Yeah, Will and Collective Soul just got off the Rock and Roll Express train with a great tour with the cool guys from Three Doors Down. It was a super show that I got to see in Mohegan Sun, and we're looking forward to you to come up here next Wednesday to Long Island in Jersey on Thursday. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, man. Collective Soul's lucky, man. We got fans. We got a good fan base all across the country, and I have to admit, Long Island and even New Jersey, you guys know how to rock and roll up there. We look forward to it.
Yeah, no question about that. We definitely know how to rock and roll. Man, I got to talk to you. Serengeti Drivers. I know when I had you on the phone in August, and I was starting to play the tracks, but now that I've had it and digested, man, dude, that is such an incredible CD, album, whatever you want to call it. It is so different, because the first when we talked in August, I was asking you, is there a lot of a difference between Collective Soul? I really see a big. Collective Soul to me is more of a hard rock driven compared to what you really put together here. Am I correct with that?
Yeah, definitely. Especially from my angle too. With Collective Soul, we create, it's definitely a lot of rock riff, and it's more of a rock thing, and with my music, I sit down behind piano, and that's kind of the way I started. My first instrument was piano, and I kind of think of everything musically as a keyboard. Even when I'm playing bass, I'm kind of thinking like a piano, but I started these songs behind piano and my vocal, not Ed's, obviously. So, yeah, I mean, there's really musically for me, obviously I've heard some friends that are musicians tell me they hear maybe a couple things over the entire record that maybe remind them of some stuff Collective Soul might have done, but I don't think anybody really references an entire song, just maybe some production things that might hear. But yeah, in general, these are not Collective Soul songs, and it's a different side of me that I feel like is I feel like people want to hear it, and I think the stuff's good enough that I should record it and let people hear it.
Man, Will, I got to tell you, the feedback that I get for playing Demons, On You, Faith, Hope, and Love, Belong, Falling Castle, every time I play one of your tracks, I can almost assure somebody's going to hit me up on one of the social medias or call me or catch me on the road or somewhere and go, wow. I play it for my wife. I say, hey, mute the TV for a minute, and I crank it up, and some of the songs really deserving to be up there in the top 10, top 20, maybe even a top, a number one. The harmonies, the sound, the lyrics, it's so easy listening, it's so radio friendly, and as I was saying, I see certainly a big separation from what the Collective Soul, what you guys do as a whole there. I want the same thing for Dean with Maggots and Ghosts. That's a whole different element of a side that Dean's out there doing. So no, man, it is really, really good stuff, and I am excited. I'm excited, man. I keep playing it and I crank it up. And Demons, I love the keyboard. So let's talk about some of the stories behind. Well, let me start with the title. Serengeti Drivers, I think Serengeti, everybody reflects off of Africa. I don't see a match anywhere. I love the album cover, and I see that, like, the road off the sunglasses, and I don't know if I try to maybe overthink things, and I said, maybe Will was just saying, I'm on my own path, and this is me, and tell me, what's the story behind the actual title of the album, and compare it to the music?
A little bit of it. It was a dream sequence I was having. And I was having this dream sequence where I'd be walking in the desert, and well, I always end up saying "Walking in the Desert All Alone," which is that's a Collective Soul lyric from Listen. But I was walking all alone, and I wasn't lost. I was secure, and I was good with just being alone. But I didn't really know where I was or where I was going. And then I would see friends either in a car or something. I remember one time seeing the guys in Collective Soul go by in like a tour bus, and they were hanging their head out the window, and I'd be like, oh wow, there's so and so, there's Ed, Dean, Jesse, and they'd wave to me, everybody smile and be like, yeah, all right, and they'd keep going, and nobody would ever stop, and that was kind of the basic gist of the dream. It kind of nothing really happened after that. The gist was that I would be all alone, not knowing where I was, and I'd see people in the middle of the desert in a car driving, and they would just wave at me and they wouldn't stop by. But they knew it was me, and I knew it was them. And so I'd wake up and I'd be like, what the hell does that mean? And I had that dream over and over. And then as we started recording this record, and I started picking different friends to be on the record, there's 16 different musicians on this record that I kind of handpicked for each song. And most of these friends go back decades for sure. So as I started picking the different musicians and stuff, the word Serengeti Drivers I kind of came up with that phrase, and it related to the dream, and then it also related to, like you said, just the fact that there's not many Serengeti drivers, so you're kind of on your own path in a way, and I kind of referenced like I said, the group of musicians as the Serengeti Drivers as well.
That is cool. And I guess maybe the dream is reflecting, you're seeing the guys passing you, waving, smiling, that they approve of what you're doing, because, each and every one of them seems to have their own solo stuff going on. So that's a good thing. That's pretty cool.
I'll take your psychological, that's a good review of that dream. I'll take that. Sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, tell me about Demons. And again, it seems the Collective Soul songs really start off with a lot of guitar riffs. And I know you started. Your love is really the piano and your dad's recording studio, even though you're the bassist on Collective Soul, but you have the love for piano and keyboards, and it really comes out, I think, on this album. Demons, and Faith, Hope, and Love. And tell me about Demons.
Yeah, Demons is kind of the one song that's really written from my personal perspective, and it kicks off the record. It's just a really upbeat vibe that I'm just kind of explaining to people that there's dark, there's light, there's good, there's evil, but that's kind of like the balance in life. I kind of need them both, and I took that phrase, I got to get rid of all my demons. I took that phrase and twisted it around, and in the chorus, I'm basically saying, I can dig my demons. I know when to hang out with them and when not to hang out with them, and I need my angels as well, but I need to live with my demons too. I can't imagine a world without my demons in them,
Wow, pretty cool. And All on You, another keyboard driven, piano, I want to say keyboard. I'm not a musician, but I can hear, it's certainly not led by a heavy lead guitar at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's that Wurlitzer sound. It's that 70s Wurlitzer Rhodes, a little distortion on it. The Black Keys are really good at using that sound as well. And that song, my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer, and that's what that song's about. I was betting it all on her. And if you listen to the lyrics now, you'll understand a little bit more about it. But it's just about being diagnosed with breast cancer and fighting it and surviving it. She's cancer free, and
thank God.
All is good, man.
Oh, thank God for that. Geez, sorry to hear, but I'm glad she's out of that mess. The harmonies on Faith, Hope, and Love. I think that's probably my favorite song, I gotta say.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. And I think Jason Fowler sang some backups with me on that one. You can check out Jason Fowler music. He's another good artist. He's singing some really high notes there, but I did definitely sing the most harmonies. I mean, I believe in some of those parts of Faith, Hope, Love. There's about 16 harmonies stacked up. So there is a lot of vocals there, and that was just a kind of a mankind's largest question: who are we? Why are we here? And is there something bigger than these moments of life on Earth? Is there something bigger out there? And that's what that song is about. It's kind of, again, using play on words from the Bible verse. I think it's Corinthians. Grace, these is love.
Beautiful, beautiful tune. We're on the phone with Will Turpin of Collective Soul, and he's got a great album out, Serengeti Drivers, that I've been playing track after track after track. Belong, I listen to Belong, and I get a Lenny Kravitz, that funky groove, and I love, really, at the end, that little carnival, that little I thought that was pretty cool, the way you ended that tune.
Yeah, and the ending is, if you'll notice now that you mentioned that, the ending's a little tip of the hat to Led Zeppelin as well. I can't remember exactly which song they end, but now you'll listen to it and you'll hear the Led Zeppelin in there. They end the song with a Hammond B3 just like that.
Nice.
And I did the same thing there on the end of Belong.
Well, man, I love every track, and I'm going to play more of it as much as I can. You talk about Led Zeppelin, I think, on the bass end of things, Will, I'm sure influences of John Paul Jones, probably, Mark Anthony, Sting, anybody else I'm missing, Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney, for sure. He's my main guy. Obviously, he plays bass and keyboards. I love Paul McCartney and everything he's ever done. Even every one of his solo records, I really dig into. Sting, you mentioned, is one of my favorites. John Paul Jones is one of my favorite. You kind of covered kind of my favorite bassists right there. Those are my three favorites, really.
Cool.
Leon Wilkerson from Leonard Skinner. Talked about enough. His melodic bass lines are just so you can't overestimate the word simple. They're simple, but they're perfect. They move a lot. Sometimes he's doing some octave, and it's technically difficult, but nothing gets in the way, and they're just perfect bass lines for those songs. So I like him a lot too.
Do you practice, Will? And what do you practice on? Just for like new musicians out there to know. You've been doing this for 25, probably 30 years, if not more. Do you practice every day?
I don't technically. I used to when I was younger. I don't technically practice a whole lot. I'll do some warm ups when I'm on tour. And backstage and such, but I don't. I've kind of developed into a way where practice for me is almost just like it's all mental. It's almost just how I view trying to create these sounds and create. Basically, what we do as musicians and as a band is we create emotion, and so I spend more of my time just mentally trying to figure out how to get to that spot where we can create that emotion and make that emotion just pour out of the music.
Before I let you go, Will, do you prefer to be on the spotlight of what you're doing with this great album, or or both, or sitting in the back a little bit and letting the Collective Soul Ed really take the lead, being the front guy of the band? Do you like both? Do you prefer one over the other?
Yeah, Collective Soul's my thing, man. It's been 25 years, so I definitely feel at home playing bass in the rock band and singing all the backups. But I am very comfortable behind piano, and I've always done it my whole life. My first gigs, I was by myself on piano, so it's more of a thing where I need both. But I'm definitely at home right by the drummer. driving the rhythm section to Collective Soul, man. That's what I've been doing for 25 years. So.
That's awesome. So we're going to see you Wednesday in Long Island and Thursday down in New Jersey. A little bit of a different show compared to the Rock and Roll Express tour. Anything new adding? New songs?
Yeah, we'll definitely add some different tunes. We'll be headlining, so there won't be such a time restraint on how long we can play and such. and it's a smaller theater. These are smaller theaters, so the energy is always a little different. And like I said, yeah, we'll definitely play some different songs that you didn't hear the other night. So.
Well, great. We're always looking forward to Air Turpin with the jump off the riser. I mean, I don't know how you do it.
I'll let you know when surgery's around the corner, man. You can send me a get well card.
You look at all the guys and their reactions when you're about to do that, going, man, don't break your ankle. Well, it's really cool.
I'll keep you in the loop on that.
Oh, it's really cool. No, you do a great job, man. Hey, brother, and please tell me, and I know Collector Soul's on tour pretty much the whole month of October, and you might have a break in November. Do you plan on doing some solo stuff in the Atlanta or a little bit of the Northeast or anything of that nature, promoting Serengeti Drivers?
Yeah, I'm trying to get on some tours. Maybe if I can get an opening slot for somebody, then I can get all around. So yeah, we were talking about that with management and agency a couple of weeks ago. So if something pops up, I'm good for it. But as far as me getting out and trying to headline, I don't know if it's worth my time to get up that far. But I'll definitely play some shows around home, around Atlanta area during the holidays. So and some people come into town to fly in for those. So I'll be posting those, and like I said, hopefully I get on a tour where I can open up for somebody and get around the nation.
Well, I hope I'm not the only one playing this great album, because it really needs to be heard throughout not only our country, the world. And if I got to fly down to Atlanta to see one of your shows, I would love to see you play your own music live. I've always been a big fan of Collective Soul. That's never been an issue. But to support you and do whatever I need to do to get your music out there, oh my God, Will, you hit a home run with this great album. And I'm doing my part, my man.
Well, that means a lot, man. I appreciate it, Pat. Thanks, buddy.
Well, we're going to see you Wednesday night in the Westbury Theater in Long Island. I am looking forward to it. My man, thanks for your time. Be careful with the jump. And I look forward to saying hi. We got to get you to roll the dice again, even though you came so close. Nothing says that you can't roll. You can only roll the dice once per show. So you get a second shot at this, and I think you're going to get it. You were right there and it rolled off the table.
If the table was an inch wider, I think I had it.
You had it. It was so cool. I got to put up that video, but I'm looking forward to saying hi to you again and getting you to roll the dice, and you're going to do it this time.
Well, we'll see, man. Well, I can't wait to catch up, Pat. Thanks, buddy.
Will Turpin, Collective Soul, and buy his album, Serengeti Drivers. You can go to willturpin.com, check out Collective Soul, all their dates. Be safe, my friend. Safe travels, and we'll see you Wednesday.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, Will. Bye now.